Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Cosma and this is Poker Vlog number 3. This is a very special episode because we're going to pull up to Pokerface Ash's farewell meetup game at the Gila River Lone Butte Casino. Pokerface Ash is one of the reasons why I got into poker and also one of the first poker vloggers I've ever watched. Today, we're going to be playing hands with both old and new friends, and you're about to witness what happens when a whale goes on a sun run. It's a 2-3 1,000 max buy-in, but before we get into the poker part of the poker vlog, let's roll some vlog part of the poker vlog. Let's go. A couple hours before the meetup game, I've decided to take care of my health and my well-being, which is why I'm at this place called Optimize. You like my Shen Yi backpack? Oh, this is fascinating. I'm adding this to the vlog. So my friend recommended we do 20 minutes, but the timer's set at 60. The temperature's 137 in here. And I don't think he knows this, but Koreans kind of take our sauna game seriously. It's been 10 minutes. Yeah. And this shit does get kind of hot. I can feel all my pores and shit opening up. Not bad. There's 2 minutes left on the sauna here, and I am currently wetter than a paired board where all the straights and flushes got there.
We'll get the time. And you're ready to start.
A few moments later.
Almost there. This is a way to prepare for a poker game.
Yeah. Look at all these degenerates here today. Kenya, Leprechaun Dance.
We have pink grapefruit,
Yeah, you have choices.
or you have a mango smoothie with boba. This one.
Mango one?
Also, would you like to say hi to the vlog?
I don't know. This looks like a very hard table. Look at all these shark over there, shark over there, shark here. You have Sam, Vivian, Colombian Tony, even though he's not Colombian. Sing. That's Garrett. Oh, that is Garrett. How you doing?
A lot of tables go.
Yeah, I'm on my waiting list.
I'm on like a non-meetup game though.
Oh.
Yeah.
Shen Yi! Oh my god. How you feeling, man?
I'm alive.
I got your boba. Stephanie's here. Hello. How you doing? I need to film all the whales, all the loser at the table. So we sit down and fold a few hands before we get the first hand of the day. I look down at ace-9 of club. There's a button straddle to $6, and the small blind limp calls, and the big blind limp calls as well. No one gets to limp at my table unless it's me, so I raise it up to $30. The button calls, small blind and big blind call as well. So 4 friends go 4-way to a flop of ace 4-5, 2 hearts, and a club. The small and big both check to me, and I'm going to lead out here and make it $70. The boys quickly fold, and I show my hand. The funny thing about ace-9 of club is that the small blind, Isaiah, once doubled up on me when I had ace-queen and he had ace-9 of club. We hit an ace on the flop and went all in, and he ended up sucking out on me with a runner-runner flush And he later told me that he'd pick ace-9 over ace-queen every time in that situation. And while I disagree about that in general, for this particular hand, I gotta agree. I gotta go with the ace-9. I button straddle to $6 and look down at ace-king of club. It folds around to the cutoff, who makes it $20. I re-raise him to $55. Now, I could be going higher here to like $60 or $65, but we're heads up and I don't want to scare him away with my strong hand, so I'm just sweetening the pot and looking to have our opponent call and take it to the post-flop streets. The flop runs out 8-4-7, all clubs. Oh my god, we flopped the nuts here, and our opponent Lee is a very capable player, but it does not matter in this scenario because we have the nuts. Forget about post-flop play. All I'm thinking about right now is how I can play this out to extract the max value. And then Lee is capable of having a set or a strong draw here. I want to make him think that he's trapping me and have him dig his own grave. So when he checks, I check as well. The turn is a king of spade. Lee decides to bet now and makes it $55. Let's go, Lee. I'm not going to raise here. I'm just going to smooth call. The river is a 6 of diamond, and I know for a fact that Lee has a straight or a set because he leads out again for $100. I'm going to tank here for a little bit because I'm thinking of a proper re-raise and a bet sizing that's going to have him call me off here, and I decide that number is going to be $315. Lee snap calls and I show him the good news and we scoop the pot. Sorry, Lee, but I had the nuts. Gotta ran into D's.
How much are you willing to call me?
The smackdown continues as the very next hand Lee limps under the gun for $3. I'm in the under the gun +2 position and look down at pocket snowmen. I raise it up to $20, the middle position calls, and Lee must have heard the same old song and dance as he calls as well. We go three-way to a flop of 3 king 9, 2 spades, and a heart. We all check the flop, and the turn is the 7 of diamond. Under the gun bets $30, and I call. Middle position folds. The river is a jack of spade. Under the gun checks to me, and he proclaims that he has bottom pair. A 3 is no good, Lee. I show my pocket snowmen and take it down. I'm not going to go for a re-raise here as I'm only getting called by better hands like a slow played king or a wandering jack that got there on the river. If he decides to lead out on the river, I think I would have to fold here, but we had showdown value for a good old check, and lo and behold, his 3 is no good. Pocket snowmen take it down. Ladies and gentlemen, it's main event time. There's a button straddle to $6 and the big blind limp calls the straddle. I'm under the gun and look down at pocket king Cosmas. I raise it up to $30 and the middle position and cutoff call. It's a three-way flop to 5, 7, 4, 2 spades and a diamond. We hold the king of spade in our hand, so I think it's a really good spot to bet out here, and that's what I do. I make it $60. The middle position folds, and the cutoff calls. The turn is a jack of heart. Now, the cutoff has some hand of value here to call my continuation bet. I consider his actions pre-flop, and he seemed really hesitant to call, so it doesn't rule out any flop sets like 5s, 7s, or 4s. He might even be someone that can float here with jacks and spikes a set on the turn. I'm not worried about pocket queens as I beat that naturally. I'm not scared of pocket aces because he most likely would have re-raised me pre-flop. And I'm also not scared of hands like ace-jack, ace-queen, or ace-10 of spade as he would have a lot more confidence calling with those hands pre-flop. And these are all just my opinions that I'm, going through my hand history and the action here. And so implement them into your own game at risk. I am definitely going to tell you here that I'm just a fish, but I have a very strong hand, so I lead out again for $175. Now it looks like the cutoff is deciding on re-raising me here. If he goes for a re-raise, it would confirm that my initial read is correct, and I'm not sure what I would do, actually. If he bumped it up to like $300, After thinking about it for a while though, he decides to just flat call, and as we head into the river, I'm thinking to myself, okay, he probably has a set here, we're going to need some help on the river, and that is exactly what comes out on the river. It is the Loverboy King of Hearts. I have essentially the nuts here. The only hands that beat me are 6-8 or 6-3, and I'm willing to bet my entire roll that he is not going to be calling pre-flop with any of those hands here. My mind is in playtime. I am trying to play for his entire stack now, and I lead out for a essentially pot-sized bet of $500. He only has about 700 in his stack here, and most players with a set will probably shove all in and run into the good news, but the cutoff has a history with me. His name is Josh. We've played together in some big hands in the past several times, and he knows that I'm only ever leading out here with the nuts or absolute air, so it's an incredibly tough laydown, but he knows what kind of player I am, and he correctly chooses to lay it down. He later told me that he had a set of fives, and I show my hand to him as a sign of respect, as I don't think there's a lot of players that can lay it down there, so props to Josh. Either way, we scoop a monster pot.
Yeah, river was a king.
Fucking really?
Just like you asked, bro. I should have called you 5 deuce.
You gotta listen to your instincts, man.
Is that a set, Josh?
We come back after a color up, and we're looking at about $2,000 in our stack here. I have 5 deuce of heart in under the gun position. I decide to give back to the community and open for $15. It folds around to the small blind, who calls $15, and we go to a flop of ace 3-3, 2 clubs, and a spade. The small blind checks, and I bet out $15. He quickly calls, and the turn is a deuce of spade. The small blind checks, and I check as well. The river is a deuce of diamond, and I boat up here. The small blind leads out for $25. Now, Isaiah can have any 2 cards here, a lot of them with a 3 in it, so I decide to just flat call instead of re-raising here, but he shows his hand. It's not one of those. My rivered boat is good, and we win a small pot.
The face you're making is getting a lot of reaction.
Who, me?
I've only been playing poker for a little over a year now, and poker is just a fascinating game where you can make the right move at the right time and still lose. On the inverse of that, you can make the wrong move at the wrong time, play absolutely horribly, but still win. In this hand, the middle position opened up for $15, and the button raises it to $45. I'm in the big blind, and I look down at 2 red queens. And 100% of the time, I'm going to 4-bet here because I want insurance against hands like pocket aces or kings, and what I mean by that is that most players will almost always 5-bet or shove with aces or kings, plus the button only has around $250 left in his stack, and I want to induce a shove here and take it all. I raise it up to $100, and interestingly enough, alarm bells go off in my head when the middle position flat calls the $100. The button jams all in just like I wanted for about $265 total, and I'm in a weird spot here. I'm not too worried about the button because he has a tendency to play any 2 cards, so I put him on a weird ace-rag combo. He could have ace-king or ace-queen, but at that point I'm willing to flip for his remaining stack. So when middle position flats my $100, I'm putting him on hands like jacks, 10s, 9s, and weaker ace-x suited holdings. The middle position has around $1,500, so I cover both players. And so with that in mind, I decide to shove here. And to my surprise, the middle position goes into the tank, and he tells me I'm really only afraid of one hand here. And I took that as him holding pocket kings. I didn't see that coming at all because who would flat my raise there with pocket kings? But we find ourselves in this interesting spot where he's tanking with pocket kings. Maybe I can disguise my shove here looking like pocket aces and get him to fold. But unfortunately, he says, I don't think I can lay this down, and he calls, so we are three-way all in for a massive pot, and all I can do is look at the run out and hope for a flop set. And the chicken that I sacrificed to my ancestors this morning must have been cooked very well, because we flop a queen immediately and the run out is clean. The button shows pocket aces and the middle position shows pocket kings. We stuck out big time here and scooped nearly a $4,000 pot. This was definitely an overplay here on my part, but honestly, I didn't even put middle position on pocket kings because he flats my $100 raise when most players here will be 5-betting or open shoving. It's an interesting spot, and honestly, I stick by my logic with the way I broke my hand down. I just happened to get lucky here. If the run out was any different, I would have been okay with it, but it's always nice to win, right? So yeah, that's the story of how I double up here. I color up for the second time today, and I'm admiring the 20 $100 black chips in my stack when I'm in middle position and look down at King Jack of Hearts. There's already a button straddle to $6 and the under the gun called, so I'm going to open here for $20. It folds around to under the gun who calls, and we go heads up to a flop of King 7-4. The under the gun checks to me and I bet out for $20. He calls and the turn is a 4 of diamond. We check around to a river, it's the Queen of Hearts, and once again he checks it over to me. I'm going to go for thin value here and I make it $30. The reason why I go for a small bet here is so that I can fold to a re-raise. Under the gun is an interesting player who can have some weird 2-pair or trip combination, so if he decides to re-raise me here, I'm not going to call. I can get away easily, but whatever he decided to call with is no good as I show him my King Jack and he mucks. So against maniac players like that who will call you with anything, I decided to play a little bit more conservatively. I'd rather take the $30 than make it $100 and he snap calls me with some weird hand. So I'll take $30 any day. The run good continues as we put an under the gun straddle and look down at 6-5 offsuit. We're having a great time here. The company's great. Pokerface Ash is at seat 2 and everyone's just having a good time. Great vibes. But let's not forget, we're playing for stacks here. The low jack raises it up to $20. The button calls. The small and big blind fold and I flat call. The hijack calls and we go all along for the ride for a flop of 5-10-5 rainbow. When you run good, you run good. I'm going to be playing for stacks here. I check. The hijack checks, and the pre-flop aggressor, low jack, bets out $45. The button folds, I'm not going anywhere, I call, and the hijack folds. The turn is a deuce of diamond. Once more, I'm going to check it over to him. The low jack bets out $75. Now, the deuce of diamond does introduce a flush draw here, so I'm going to bump it up to $250. The reason why I'm going to go for a check raise is because I figure if he has an overpair, even if he doesn't have a flush draw, he's going to continue barreling. So I want to sweeten up the pot right now. And also, on the other hand, I do want to protect my hand against any kind of flush draws here. So he decides to flat the 250, and the river is a 4 of club. So the good news is that the diamond flush bricks. The only hand I'm concerned about is pocket 10s. But if he flops the nuts here, what is he barreling for? Is he putting me on a 5 and he's just going to barrel all 3 streets? I don't know. Pocket 4s also come into play here, but I don't think he's going to be doing that either on the flop and pre-flop as well. I'm going to bet out $300. He has a little over 300 in his stack. So if he has any piece of this board, he's going to probably go all in. I'm not going to fold and snap him off here, but he decides to fold. And we win again. One can argue that, because he's showed so much strength pre-flop, on the flop, on the turn, that we should be going for a smaller sizing for value here. But Cosma ain't no bitch, and my mama didn't raise me that way. I'm going to go for your whole stack every time. And, a fish got a fish, man. What am I going to say? So I just got back from Ashley's meetup game. We were in for $1,000 and cashed out $38.89. We ran like the sun. We also played really well, got max value on all of our nutted hands. I'm pretty proud of myself. That was pretty good. Meetup game went well. Said goodbye to Ashley. We'll be seeing her again real soon. But until next time, thank you for watching my vlog. I'll see you guys later.